Good morning. First words I've uttered for the day. And putting on, that's much better. Yes, we used to have reading glasses back in the day. Some people still do. Others of us have internet glasses, I guess, or computer glasses. So good morning. Hey, spreading sunshine. Good morning. It's not too sunshiny over here, but thank you for spreading your sunshine here. Becky I-68. I-68. Love it. And Shannon and Retro G. Yo, Retro G. Nice to see you. Let me adjust things a little bit there. We're a little bit more centered. If my hair is not too puffy, you can see the car metaphor. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's early yet. You know that, right? All right, it's rainy in Pittsburgh. My side of the state, yeah, kind of rainy too. All right. So, and I think it's supposed to be rainy all week. May showers bringing the day and all that. So good morning. I know it's early. Laura Gibbon Vo. Nice to see you. Sometimes we get up early. Sometimes it's good to mix things up and meet people where they're at, etc. So here we are. 7:02. I'll admit I'm still waking up. I was up for a little bit. I was awake. Awake versus up. Walking the dog. All right, Laura Gibbons Vo. That's how it shows up as like a little cutoff thing, is walking the dog. I love that. I remember having to get up to walk the dog. Actually, I lucked out. My dog and my husband had a nice little routine going for the many years that I worked outside of the home. Leslie with an S. Nice to see you. Good morning, all. These are the first words I've spoken today. I have a little bit of maybe some allergies, a head cold or something. So I may have what I jokingly refer to as my Brenda Vaccaro voice. Now the sad thing is I only know about Brenda Vaccaro, and this will resonate with some of my Gen Xers and perhaps more of the ladies than the gents. But regardless, Brenda Vaccaro for Playtex tampons. Remember that? She had kind of a husky voice. So I have a husky voice today. So there we go. Laura Gibbons Vo is going to plant flowers after walking the dog, and then the rain will soak them in. Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. Much like flowers, humans benefit from having water to bloom. So if you have yet to water your own self this morning, you probably this morning have decluttered your innards by visiting what we euphemistically call the euphemism, the small room this morning when you got up. It's a natural function. Getting rid of what you don't need, taking something in, getting the nutrients you need from it, and then letting the rest go and let it flow, let it go. So water, I've got water right here myself. Every little sip of water that you take is going to be good for you. Do not try to guzzle 64 ounces in one fell swoop. No, in one sitting. A sip at a time. A sip at a time, a step at a time. This is how we live. This is how we declutter. And it's really, you know what? It seriously is like, and I'm not a garden person, but we were just talking about flowers and, watering the flowers, is sustainable. Now, what does sustainable means? It's something that you can do for an extended period of time. I don't know. I could officially just Google it over here, but sustainable, that I can sustain doing this, And so that's why I highly recommend, and I will often say, start small, but just start. A sip of water, a sip of tea, because I've got tea in my teacup too. Okay. Starting small also helps you, I don't want to say fight the overwhelm, because I'm not a fighter, though I easily would kick somebody's ass. But starting small and learning how to shift gears. That's it, shifting. Shifting gears from the way you're driving now, the direction you're driving in now, declutter-wise, life-wise, and shifting gears, or even just shifting your hands on the steering wheel. Where you're going and the habits you use. So yeah, Ellie, see, you said good advice on water. Here, everybody, take another sip. Swirl it around in your mouth, get your tongue nice and saturated. Warm it up, and then drink it down. Yeah, every little bit helps. So I love starting with that. And the funny thing is, does it say it on here? No, I got another mug today. Every little bit helps. So how are you feeling this morning? I will always start with how you're feeling physically, because if you're not feeling good physically, it's going to make everything else outside of that physical feeling a little bit more difficult. So let's not make things difficult. If you're not feeling good, identify where it is. Is it your toe? Is it your elbow? Is it the tip of your nose? Is it the right-hand side of your guts, or is it your left-hand side of your guts? Is it up here? Is it down there? Is it in deep? Is it on the surface? There we go. All right. So identify how you're feeling physically. And if you're not feeling decent, good, fine, okay, no big deal, identify what you can do to change the part that's hurting. Now, right now, I say that, and as I say that, I feel like this tingle in the inside of my nostrils, which means I'm going to probably sneeze soon. And luckily, I can have the Kleenex, the facial tissues at the ready. That one persona, I love that you are riffing on the car, the road trip metaphor. Well, that one persona is saying a thought. Overwhelm is like a rainstorm. Take it slow and you can drive through it, or pull over until it gets to be too much. Yeah, and it is so true. Because think about it too. Much like a rainstorm, overwhelm can pass. It may peak and then it will recede. So if it gets to be too much, you can help it recede, because it, like rain, calming down, quieted down. Yeah, add that jazz riff. You're a jazz cat. There we go. Learning how to manage your internal overwhelm or feelings, noticing them is even a first thing. I feel like we are one of the generations that is lucky enough that we are flexible and we can do that. I know, and I'm seeing Anne. Anne just showed up and she did a wonderful video. I am so touched at Anne saying that what I do here on these lives is helping her go through this really cool old house with a lot of cool stuff in it. I love old houses and I love cool old stuff, so I love what you're doing. I'll raise my little coffee mug to you. But some generations were not encouraged to look in. They were encouraged to look outside for problems, and so they may not know how to regulate their system. I love that we can do something different. I love that we are choosing to do something different and being in what they would say in the biz, like a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, more flexible than rigid. Yay us. Yay us for seeing how things panned out for other people and saying, noted, yet I want to do something different. I don't want to live with all that stuff in my attic. Unexamined stuff. Now, if I examine it, and I love examining cool old stuff, do not get me wrong. I mean, hello. I've thrifted for years, even going through the clutter in my mother's house. In my own house is fun. But then choosing whether you, here, let me emphasis on the syllable, whether you want to keep something or not. That's really something to think about. Having a choice is a big deal. Being able to say, do I want this or not? And make that decision that feels good to you. And talking about the generations, how about leading by example? To lead your kiddos or your grandkids or whomever of the younger generation is in your life, leading by asking them, do they want something or not, and not guilting them into keeping it just because it has been kept before. So, for those of you who haven't met me, I will say this is my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I love the travel metaphor, the road trip metaphor. It was really a way of thinking about stuff, about things, about the way I was moving through the world that really changed the game for me. And I'm not even a game player, okay? But I felt stuck. I felt overwhelmed. I didn't know where to go. And I just remember, and I will always go back to it. And it's weird because the way my brain pictures it isn't where it happened. But it was kind of a conversation in my head. And knowing that I could plan a good vacation, I could plan a good road trip. I knew how to do that well. I was good at that. People, said, wow, you're good at this. I thought, God damn it, why can't I use that concept in my own life? And then part of me was like, why not? What would that look like? What would you do? So I became a certified life coach, but I know one of the things that people struggle with, because I did for myself for decades and my family has for generations, is how you interact with stuff. And this is a really interesting time to be alive in the United States of America for many reasons, but just in the notion of stuff. Think back, 100 years ago would have been 1925, okay? So World War II had happened, and so people were reeling from that. And the Great Depression had yet to hit, and then World War II, but also the scale of which you could easily acquire items, how much things cost. When you can make a bunch of stuff in a massive scale, the price goes down. So it is different for our generation and the generations before. We are living through history when it becomes cheaper for us to buy things that people used to have to save up for, and easier, so much easier to get the things that we think we want. But then when we get them, do we want them or not? And it's a really interesting time to realize this. And I share this with you from a professional and personal and historical perspective, that you are not alone if you struggle with clutter. You are not alone if you have aging people in your life that also struggle with clutter. They may not have the will or the insight or the capabilities or the desire or whatever to change how they think and feel and act about stuff. But you, my dears, you have a choice. You can continue doing what they did, and there you'll be. But you can also change it. You can also change it. And I show up for you to help you to realize the change is going to feel different. Because if it didn't feel different, it would feel the same. And different means change. But different good is better than different bad. Stretching because you're growing stronger is better than stretching because somebody is pulling you apart, right? So if you want to change what you're doing with clutter, here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. I'm also a Gen Xer who knows a lot of goofy songs, so there we go. So yeah, if you want to change how you deal with your clutter, I'm here to help you because I have a lot of good ways to help you do that, and I want to just share with you. It starts up here in your head, tappers, and then it goes down to your heart, And I call these like the, not the rub your tummy, pat your head, but the decision-making areas of my body. You have a thought, you have words in your head, and they make you feel a feeling in your feeling area, your energetic region, perhaps. And then based on what goes on here, you either move stuff, you pick things up, you put them down someplace or another. You start moving your body only when your brain and your energy system are in cahoots. Okay? Cahoots. Isn't that the fake restaurant on Bistro Hutty? Deep cut, I know. So let's talk about it. Let's work on it. You know? No, I love this. Wendy Rose is saying, I finally got my house reset. So think about reset. It was set and then I set it again. And now I'm ready to go into deeper places for decluttering. Okay. So the depth, the different layers. So I always start with this. Surface clutter is the first layer. The next layer down, like an archaeological dig, is going to be stored clutter. And then the deepest one is going to be sentimental clutter. So notice if I was putting little words on the screen, it'd be all S, surface, stored, sentimental. So I love that. So you're going into the deeper places for decluttering. When you go into the deeper places, they are places that are usually hidden. We hide stuff from people. We put things in drawers, like in a bureau or a kitchen or you know, now I've gotten a noun as a person, place, or thing going through my head. A drawer or a cabinet. A closet has doors. So that's why I like to think, again, maybe like, like a conjunction junction, like Schoolhouse Rock. Stored, doors, drawers. They all kind of rhyme, at least the way I pronounce them. Okay? So if you're going into what's hidden, you may be surprised because it's been not in your sight. It's not been in your sight. So sometimes you don't know what you have. And also what may be hidden is how you feel about things. So notice that. But there's nothing wrong with something that's just because it's out of sight doesn't mean you can't do it. So I love that. Wendy Rose, go into the next level down of clutter. I highly recommend when you are decluttering to start with surface clutter. To start with surface clutter because surfaces will allow you the space to then dump out the junk drawer onto the dining room table and spread it out to see what you have. So surface is always very handy to go to. Also, it gets you in the habit of noticing your habits of where you keep things, of where you are in the habit of dumping things. Now, when I was growing up, our dining room was rarely used for dining, but we grew up in a house that was built with certain societal expectations, which was people eat in the dining room. Nah, we ate in the kitchen. And so I offer to you, do you have rooms that are set up, but you don't really use them that way? That's okay. You can keep them that way and use them occasionally, but who says you can't use your dining room table as a sorting table? Now throw a cloth over it so you don't scrape it up or whatever. But use the space you have to make getting your decluttering easier, and it will be easier if you start with your surface clutter. Okay? Now I love this. Lorraine says, I'm retiring in 2 hours. Congratulations, everybody, Lorraine. And I'm spending my retired life decluttering at my pace. A pace. What's a pace? You walk at a certain pace. You may not realize it when you're at the same pace as everybody else, but man, oh, Maneskin, do I know that I walk like an East Coaster, that I walk at a certain clip, right? You don't notice your pace, but picking a pace to declutter that feels good to you. And Lorraine, I just want to tweak what you're saying. I'm spending some of my retired life decluttering at my pace. Do not spend all of your time decluttering. Any day. I don't want you to spend an entire day doing the same thing. We do not work in a conveyor belt factory. I want you to spend some time decluttering and do some fun stuff for yourself. Okay? Now, I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees also notices that some of us have to declutter because things literally and metaphorically fall in your lap. But I'm learning to enjoy it. Yeah. Some of us inherit stuff. We inherit a lot of things, and a lot of it is not, oh, look, there's a trust fund. A lot of it is stuff that older generations didn't know what to do with, that were fearful of letting go of things because you might need it someday. Even if they didn't necessarily want it, they didn't have a skill to know what to do with it. They would have their backseat driver voices saying, don't do that. Don't do that. You might need that someday. The fear of lack is a real deal. And it becomes realer when you don't examine, hey, I'm feeling lack, but actually I've got the opposite. I've got way too much stuff here. So notice the disconnect between, there's that girl who's on here on TikTok. How long does it really take? The disconnect between the thought in your head, I don't have enough. What if I need it later and there's not enough? Lack, scarcity, and yet clutter is abundance. Clutter is too much. And you know that because you want to not have as much stuff as you do. Now, so I love this. Another good bopping back to the notion of surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Some things kind of live in both worlds. Like, your sentimental clutter could be on a surface. Your stored clutter may have some sentimental stuff in it. But I love this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees also offers a making my bed is always important to me, makes bedroom look better, and a space for sorting. Laundry. Yes, sorting. Sorting into categories. Your pattern matching brain. We all have it, whether you've got ADHD or not, and however you sharpen the pencil of your brain to notice patterns. We make sense of things by putting things into groups of like items. Socks here, t-shirts here, pants here, pajamas here, bathing suits here. Sorting your stuff on a surface. So your bed, the top of your bed can also be a surface that can be a store, bloop. Here, let me take a cup of tea. This is why it's live and not Memorex, okay? And I also just... Sorting. Your bed can also be used as a sorting place. Now notice when your sorting surfaces become storing surfaces. Ooh, that's a good one. I haven't thought about this before. Let's run with it. Sorting like items into piles is a first step in decluttering. But then deciding once you have that pile of the same thing, ideally what you're doing is you're gathering up. Like, for example, I wear a wicked lot of black t-shirts. Okay? And I want to offer that, like, each one of them is a little bit different. When you see them all together, you see how many you have, and you're like, oh, I have more than enough. Which ones do I not want? Which ones have shrunk or faded or don't fit me well or I don't like the way they're cut? Now, so notice this. And when you have like items together, you've pattern matched stuff into a like item pile, it can just make it easier to remind yourself of your abundance and make it easier for you to kind of spread out and see what things that you're keeping. The quality versus the quantity, Oh, there we go. Lorraine has church and birds to feed and books to read. Awesome. I love that. There we go. Power Dreamer sorts M&Ms by color. Awesome. Honing your skills. Jessica Woodard. That's my problem. I grew up poor, so had a sense of scarcity, kept everything just in case. Okay, the good news is I used to call things not problems, but much like a math teacher would tell you, or if your math teacher happens to be Vanilla Ice, if you've got a problem, I'll solve it. So a problem means there can be a solution to it. So what I want to offer, Jess, and you're making progress. That's awesome, hon. That's totally awesome. We're all here just trying to progress. Is you may have habits that you were ingrained in you when your life was a certain way, but you haven't updated it, like the apps on your phone have not been updated in a while. You haven't updated the stuff that's in deep about the thoughts and feelings about stuff. You haven't updated it, but outside things have changed. So notice that fear of having not enough, but you don't just stop at just right and be like, okay, now we're good and I can stop. The fear says, well, what if I need it in the future and I can't get to it? And yeah, progress. I'm making progress. What is progress? Well, progression, moving in a direction, ideally moving kind of forward, right? But forward, even from here, forward could be over this way, it could be over that way. Like if I turn myself, forward means in front of me. So, what is progress to you? And to me, progress would be, and this is why, again, I call things destination decluttered. This helps me remind me to say, what am I aiming for? Progress towards what? And if you don't know, okay, cool. Let's figure it out. What do you want to get to? And the reason I say this is because you will move forward, but put your energy towards a destination you want. And then it'll be easier to get there because you can always readjust your steering wheel to remember to drive towards it. Now I love it. Gen X. I love the Gen with the X because I am one too. I used to keep stuff on my bed when my hubby was out of town. And that one persona says, who has laundry? Not me, who has laundry on the bed that's been there for a few days. All right. So notice that. Notice you have had the habit of doing certain things when somebody's in the house and when somebody's not in the house. I totally have different habits when my husband is away, playing music. I have different habits. He has different habits when I'm away, helping my mother with clutter. So notice that. We are creatures of habit. So what are your laundry habits? Why is the laundry on the bed? Now, I've got stuff around the house, and I have embraced not judging myself. So I highly recommend. Here, it feels great. I offer you to try it. Instead of getting judgy, get curious. Instead of being fearful, approach it with love and curiosity. So why is my laundry still on the bed? And notice how I say that. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I do. But it's not a big deal. Not like, why is your, not like top down. Why is your stuff still there? You know why? Because I didn't feel like putting it away yesterday. Oh, okay. Do you feel like putting it away today? Yeah, a little bit yesterday. Okay, it'll be easier when you feel like it. Okay. Now, after a certain point, if it's not there, you may have to and I want to say buckle up, but put it away. But get curious. Get curious, not judgy, about a wicked lot of things. Now, I love this. Okay, Anne, I love this. This is so good. Anne says, I've had to make big general piles. Yes, room-sized piles. Breaking them down to find places for them is a lot. Okay, not a big deal. This is what we call chunking it down. So chunking it down. If it feels like a lot, how can you chunk it down so it doesn't feel a lot, it feels like a little? Notice the opposite. Let's use the skills we have, the communication skills we have, and use different words. If it feels like a lot, if it feels like too much, how can you make a lot? And a lot is, if you think about it, a unit of measure. It's like a hectare or an acre is a lot. How can you cut that lot into smaller bits? Chunking it down is going to be the saving grace of all of us. Because when you do things small, it can help you maintain your nervous system without getting overwhelmed. And starting small gets you started. Okay? So breaking them down into other piles is a task. That's still the sorting. Finding places for things. Now that one. Finding places for things. Now let me even slow that one down a little bit. Finding a place for an item starts with this. Before you even find a place for it, ask yourself this. Do I want it in my house or do I not want this in my house? Do I want this in my life or do I not want it in my life? Because that is two other piles. That's a decision. As I like to call it, the clash. Should I stay or should I go now? Do I want it to stay or do I want it to go? And if you back that up even further, it's what do I want? Do I want this to remain in my home? Do I want this to leave my home? Now, some of these decisions will be easier than others. Okay? And that's all right. Again, up thread, talking about moving at a pace that feels good to you. Any movement in the direction you want to go to is good movement. Any love is good love. So I took what I could get. Yes, I took what I could get. And then I looked in her big brown eyes and said, "You ain't seen nothing yet. No, you ain't seen nothing yet." Oh, I cracked myself up. All right? Chunking it down. Oh, Kara. Kara lives in Mass, and I grew up in Mass. Oh, this was wicked funny. I'll share this with you. My husband and I were having a conversation, and the phrase critical mass showed up, and I said, "Oh, that's where I grew up, critical mass." Kara says, "Good morning. I'm going to putter today. Puttering, decluttering, putter and declutter." I love a rhyme. Putter and declutter. Oh, you hurt your arm and shoulder. Oh, hon. And I'm fighting a UTI. All right, cranberry juice. All right, cranberry juice and maybe something else, you know? But notice, if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling good, what can you do to adjust your expectations for the day? Okay? It's my body's reminder to slow down. Your body's like, dude, not at this pace. We need to pay attention because our body is part of the decision-making process. Your body makes, what's that one? The body keeps score. Heavy book, physically, metaphorically. But noticing that those of us who are getting older, I don't care what decade you're in, but your body is going to slow down, whether you want it to or not. You can fight it. Don't get me wrong. You can do things to lessen the slowdown, but you're going to slow down. Ann Parks is saying, "I've started taking naps and not feeling guilty." Yes, guilt. Oh, this was interesting. I'll share this with you because this was kind of fun. Oftentimes, and this may be one of those times where I suggest you look at the screen when I'm talking. Most of the time, you don't need to because ideally, kind of like a podcast, Johnny, kind of like a podcast, you could hear what I say, and that's all you need. But sometimes the visual will help. So this is a time where I'll say, "Hey, look at the screen." Because I saw a TikTok video yesterday about a guy saying, and he was standing there, and he was like doing something with like his right hand went to his left knee that was up, and the left hand to the right knee, and he was doing this thing. And he was talking about crossing the midline, and how that coordination of crossing the midline was beneficial to how you learn to read because your eyes get used to going, in the US anyway, from left to right to read. And so I offer this notion of the midline down below because on the one hand and on the other hand, and you've got a line down the middle, on the one side we have fear, judgment, guilt, shame, bossiness, all the unhelpful stuff that we've tried to use those things to get us decluttered. And it may work for a short time, but not sustainably, not along the long term. What I love to use the midline for is what I call the flip side. On the other hand, on the other side is the opposite. So instead of feeling guilty on this side, what's the opposite of guilt? Non-guilt? I don't know. That's a starter. Okay. So I offer to you, let's hang out on the other side of the midline. If you're hanging out here and you're feeling crappy and you're telling yourself bad stuff and you're feeling guilty and you're yelling at yourself and you're being mean and it's working for you, you're getting the results you want, it feels good, fine, stay over there. I don't care. As long as you're getting the results you want and you like how it feels, stay there. What I offer to you, though, is sometimes we think that's the whole thing. We don't realize that's only half of the story. The rest of the story. Remember that? Who's it? Paul Harvey. The rest of the story. On the other hand, on the other side, on the flip side, this is where I love hanging out. And I said the word, the L-O-V-E, love. Love, curiosity, fun, smiling, lightness, help, patience, all that good stuff is on the other side. So if you're feeling this way, please know that there is a total other side to what you're feeling right now. And if you want to hop over the midline, as it were, it's not that high of a fence. It's not even a fence. It's just a line. You can just step on over anytime. And it feels a lot better over here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And notice, Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, at first I felt guilty about taking naps during my lunch at school, but then it's technically prep time, and it's what I need to do to prepare for afternoon classes. Yes. Think about a nap. Think about resting as you charging your car battery, as you filling up your gas tank. I will admit without guilt, I spent hours yesterday laying in bed because I have a cold and we've been traveling and we have travel coming up. And I knew I needed to store some, I needed to restore some of my energy. And you know what? I owned it. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel guilty. I knew it was part of it. Naps are necessary. All right. So Power Dreamer is saying, I always plan I will do X for 15 minutes, but I have issues making myself get started. All right. How about this? Power Dreamer, one of my classics is, all right, here's another one. We talked about surface, stored, sentimental, about what are you heading to, where's your destination, okay? So I would offer to you, before you even start, and this is how my brain works, what's in it for me? What is the benefit that I will get if I choose to take this action? And if I don't have buy-in, it's going to be hard for me. I'm going to half-ass it, okay? So Power Dreamer, if you bring up something that you say that you're going to do but 15 and you don't get started, notice what the result is going to be. How is the result going to benefit you? I would write this stuff down because I'm a writer. I like to write things down. I literally the other day was scrambling for a pen because I was going over everything we charged to the room on vacation. And I said, I think better with a pen in my hand because then I can take notes. Okay. But what I want to offer to you is having a destination. What's in it for me? Why am I going to do this? Might give you a little bit of gas in your tank to get started. But the other thing too is not only the destination, but the word down. Okay. The word down is wicked helpful because I want you to think of calming down your nervous system. I want you to think of slowing down. And this is the one I was thinking of when you said it, is 15 minutes, chunking it down. Not a la king, chunking, Chinese food stuff from the cans. Chunking it down. Now I'm thinking of canned Chinese food. If you say you're going to do it for 15 minutes and you don't, chunk it down. Could you do it? Does it make it feel easy to start it if you say I'm going to do it for 5 minutes? Chunk it way down. If you can't get started, maybe the chunk is too big. Chunk it down. See what happens. See if it feels different. See if it sounds different in your head. If you say 15 feels like too much, how about 5? Do a little, what do you call that? Wheeling and dealing? A little wheeling and dealing with yourself. All right? Okay, I won't do 15 minutes, but I'll do 5. I can do 5. Chunking it down really changes the game. Okay? So, there we go. I love it. That one persona, because we offer things here. And oh my God, it's already 7:39. So 7:39, let me just interrupt myself for a station identification. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. You'll find me here on TikTok, but the best thing to do is get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. And the reason I say that is because people on the mailing list get all the good stuff. Most of it's free, except for my paid coaching and the tickets for the declutter parties. If you want to learn more about them, there's a whole bunch of information on my website about that. And one of the good things you get when you sign up for my mailing list is access to what I call the TV guide, which is when I'm going to show up for YouTube lives and TikTok lives. Like today is 7 a.m. TikTok live. I now see as I look at that page myself when I am supposed to show up for the hour-long YouTube live today. Okay, if you want to see that too, this is where I get a little bit sassy. Sign up for the mailing list and follow the link. I'm trying to train you to get in the habit of looking at that page. Okay, do not rely on me giving you that information. That information is 24/7, always available to you on the website. Okay, now to get back on things. Let joy makes Chinese food. Blah, 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 blah. Sing American. Exactly, Tanya. Tanya, listen to me, Tanya. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay. So that one persona says, kind of as I said, what's in it for me and chunking it down. That one persona is one of her motivators, says future me will appreciate past me for doing this. Yeah, and I knew that future me would appreciate me getting a lot of rest yesterday. I feel better now. Who knows how much gas I have in my tank? I may need to build it up over days, but we're working on it. Now, Jess is saying, I literally set an alarm on my phone for 15 minutes at a time. If that works for you, that's great. Awesome. Yay. That is a tool that works for you in your toolkit. One of the things we do on the declutter parties is practice using those things. I do a 20-minute chunk because it's easier for me to do the math. 20 is half is 10, and then another half is 5. And that's how you get 75% off if you ever want to figure out when you're shopping somewhere. All right? So what I want to do, Awesome Sauce, nice to see you, is chunking it down. And then that might help you get started. Now, here's an interesting thing that I've never riffed on before. And as a jazz cat, I'm riffing. It just occurred to me yesterday. I think a lot about, I use metaphor because why use fancy words when simple words will do? I like words that evoke images. So I like to talk about road trips. I like to talk about travel. Like to use stories. And one of the things I also think about, frankly, is a swimming pool. Okay, you've got your shallow end, you've got your deep end, you've got the middle. And here's a funny thing. So when we are not decluttering, when we say, I don't know where to start, I don't get started, you may have energy to declutter, but you're dissipating it. It's all over the place. So that's why we start with down. So the funny thing is we kind of calm ourselves down to make a plan, to get a focus, to get a destination, and to chunk down and write down some things that you feel like you can do. And once you are calmed down enough to make the plan, then it's time to access that energy that you have. But now the energy is focused on a destination, even if it's a short-term destination that makes sense to you. So it's funny because you kind of start all like this, and then you calm down, but then you rev up. You get into gear. Then you start using that energy, but with a plan and an area and something to aim at. So it is a matter of managing your energy, of calming it down, collecting it up, figuring out where you want to use it, and then getting it started. Okay? Now, Lisa is saying, we sold our house and our house now is smaller. We put a lot in storage. It has a lot. Well, it probably does because math will help you. Math can take some of the drama out of stuff, okay? So think about it. If you moved from a big house into a little house, all the stuff that fit in your big house will not fit in a small house because of, what do you call that thing? Math? Square roots? Something like that? Math, right? But it is possible that what you put in storage because you were required to empty out your house, your bigger house, you may not need it. So storage units are not inherently evil. They're just evil when you use them for permanent storage. And even then, if it works for you, if you have the money, it could be great. We're lucky that we have a huge basement, so we put a lot of stuff in our basement. What I want to offer to you, Lisa, is this, and anybody who has the wonderful opportunity to be moving into a new place, is don't just mindlessly unpack your stuff and shove it into your house. What I say is do it organically. And what do I mean by that? I mean, notice the stuff that you need to function on a daily basis. You unpack that stuff first. Toothbrush, toilet paper, a glass, a bowl, sheets, pillows, clothes, clothing for this body and this season. Do it incrementally and use this opportunity to notice what you don't want in your new house. If you want to be cluttered, sure, put all that stuff right back in. Boom, you're done. But you have an opportunity to do something different. And if you think it's a lot, again, opposites. If it feels like a lot, if it looks like a lot, how can you make it feel like a little? How can you make it look like a little? And here's the thing. Instead of looking up like this, focus down on what's right in front of you. Put blinders on. Just look at that 1 square foot. A foot is a measurement, a human foot. Chunk down what you're looking at. But also, start with your destination in mind. What do you want your new home? And this is how I start all of my one-on-one clients. Where are we aiming for? It's like a road trip. Where are we headed? I don't know. Okay, well, until you know, we'll just sit here in the car. Not with judgment, but I can help you, but you need to know where you want to go. And I'm patient. I will just, your internal body and my internal voice will just sit there until you get an inkling of where you want to head. Here's something that may prime the pump. How do you want your home to look? When your eyes go out and go beep, 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 like the Bionic Man, how do you want it to look? How do you want it to function? I love functionality because I like it when things are easy. So when I say, how do you want it to function? I'm going to give you the answer to that, to me, which is pretty good. I want it to be easy. I want it to be easy on my eyes. When I look out, I want to enjoy what I see. I want it to be easy for me to find the things I'm looking for. I want it to be easy to use the thing I found because it's in good condition. Sharp knives, scissors, the right color thread, what have you. Easy to find it, easy to use it, and easy to put it back. Because if it's not easy for you to put it back in its home, you will be less likely to put it back in its home. If it is too difficult to put away, and I'm telling you, even one extra step in a process can determine whether you complete the process or you bail. If anybody here has ever designed websites, and especially e-commerce websites with checkout pages, even if you've used them, you know if there's even one more goddamn field that they have me fill in and it hasn't pre-populated, I am thinking I'm going to bail at any moment. So easy to find, easy to use, easy to put away. And the best part about your destination is how you feel. How do I want to feel when I'm in my home? Now, you don't have to be moving into a new house to do this. You can do this right away. Starting with your destination in mind gives you a reason for doing your stuff. Oh, that's right. The effort I put in, the energy I put in is going to get me closer to that result that I want. Okay? So notice this. Notice this, and you can do stuff. Now, I'm just catching up on stuff. And I love this. Ashley says, thank you for your advice last week. I was the girl talking about the cardinal bird figurines. I love it. I visited my grandma this week and then we had a conversation. So cool. So cool. Yeah. Having a conversation. We don't keep these things because of their stuff. Oftentimes we keep them because of the connection. They help us feel connected to people. Okay? Wonderful. Kara says, on her goal for the day, therapy, which will make her head feel better, water, which will make her body feel better, laundry, which will make her body feel better because she's going to have clean clothes, plant succulents, which will bring joy to her soul, and sit on my garden bench with my pug. I love it. Maybe go to the dump, if I have the energy and also have a bag for savers. So notice the nice to haves, the must haves, and the nice to haves. Wonderful. And reflect on what you're doing during the day. And just ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because I have to? Can you change your have to into a want to? Into a get to? You know, just notice this. Awesome sauce. I'm postpartum and losing weight. Awesome sauce. Is it bad to keep my favorites of clothes that don't fit yet? We don't do bad here. We don't do bad. There's nothing bad. Notice when you're saying, is it bad? It's kind of judgy. No. You get to do what feels right to you. And I will just offer from my perspective, I don't think it's bad at all. It could be good. What's the opposite of good? Bad, good. I feel good looking forward to fitting into my clothes that don't fit yet. And you use that wonderful word, yet. So notice these things. Notice that you are judging yourself. Don't judge yourself. It is just such a freaking waste of time. It really is. Now, I know I can say this and it may take a while, but I will just tell you from the other side, it is so much nicer. It is so much nicer. And save what you want to save. Even if you can't use it yet, that is showing you that you aspire to, that one of your destinations is, I want to be destination, I don't know, I was going to say yoga pants, but those expand. Destination fit into that dress again. I look forward to. I don't fit into it yet. However, I look forward to fitting into that dress someday. Now, how soon that is depends on your body, depends on what you do, so many things. But if it's something you really love, then keep it. If it's something you like, keep it. Clutter is not the stuff you like or love. Clutter is the stuff that you decide you do not want it. Oh, thank you. Anne sent me a donut. Thank you. And my gifts are lit up. I don't know what it is. All right? Yeah. I love it. Guess who we have in the house, people? Beep, beep, beep. We got a Carla Jane in the house from Alabama, ma'am. I hope you've been doing well. I've been thinking about you, hoping everything's okay. All right? Yay, good to see you. Now, Anne says, I'm having a low stress, one bag clothing removal from a bedroom this morning. You have so much, but Anne, look at it from this way. After removing one bag of clothing from the bedroom, you will have less than you did when you started. And that's your goal, I believe. So just don't get overwhelmed by the so much. Don't look up. Focus down. You know what they say? Focus on the task at hand and the hands moving through your clothing. Pick out a category of clothing. Go through your t-shirts. Go through just your black t-shirts. Go through the t-shirts that are purple, whatever it is. And the neat thing is you've got some people who are following along on your declutter journey with your old house, because I saw some of your videos popped up on my thing. And so you get to make content. What story could I tell people about these t-shirts that I am decluttering? What could I tell them about my journey through my decluttering? What are the things that helped me decide what I wanted to keep and what I wanted to give away? Maybe you can then help other people who are following you learn some of these skills of decluttering. Now, notice low stress, one bag of clothes. Notice even my hands down, calming down, slowing down, petting down. You got this. You can do this. Okay? If you have so much, embrace the fact that you have abundance. You don't have lack, you have abundance. But they're both kind of opposite sides, right? What we're going for is just right. Not too little, but not too much. Again, Goldilocks, right? Now, Vicky is asking, how do I get past the what if I need it phase? By answering the question. This is where I would highly recommend. Notice what your answer to the question is. What would I do if I gave this away and I suddenly decided I needed it in the future? What would I do? Write down your plan. What could you do? And this plan will be different for many things in your home. So what is something specific you're thinking of, Vicky? Specificity is going to help you make a plan. General vagueness will get you into overwhelm. One size will not fit all, like square pegs, okay? So what you do with that one pair of shoes is going to be different from that bicycle in the garage. So answer the question. And you don't need to tell anybody else but yourself. What if I need it? Well, I might be able to borrow one from a friend. I could use something else instead. I could buy one. I could ask for like people I don't even know. I could put it out there on the internet. Can I borrow a rice cooker? Okay. So just answering your questions. Now, this is great. Okay, so here's a fun thing. I missed a lot of things as I talk. Things come in, and I just want to hit some of these. It's because there's good stuff in here. There's good meat on these bones, Jay. Okay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is offering to Vicky. I did that with my craft cupboard. I asked myself, when, honestly, was the last time I used this item? Was it years ago? When you realized you hadn't used it in a wicked long time, as we would say up in Mass, then it was easier to let it go. To realize I haven't used it from then to here. From here to then, I don't anticipate using it. It'll be easier to let it go. All right? There we go. Good stuff. Hey, Anne says, I have an issue falling in love with the stored stuff I haven't seen in years. Found a rock collection yesterday. OMFG, there's nothing wrong with the word love. Isn't it cool? You are going on a treasure hunt and you're finding things you love. You are reminding yourself of past versions of you, of generations of people, of connected, that you're is still digging, but also digging what you're finding. So yay. That's good stuff. Yeah. Now Irene Helm says, a box in my closet says a girl can dream for my too small clothes. Okay, I like to as hold on, Howard Johnson. That's my color scheme. Howard Jones would say, dream into action. Irene, I'm all about a dream. Do not get me wrong. Dreams are your destination, but what are you going to do to get there? You can do something to get there. Don't just stop at the dreaming. Dreaming is free, like Blondie and Debbie Harry said. Dreaming is free, but also getting to your dream can be wicked fun. All right, and chunking it down. German Maid says, I've been catching up on little projects. Each day I try to do one project in repair. Now, this is wicked funny. Carla Jane, so as I said, I'm from Massachusetts. I live in Pennsylvania on the eastern side. Pittsburgh's on the west. I'm in the Philly area. Carla Jane says, I'm sending you a James Spahn t-shirt this week. You will be a Bama person. I have adopted you anyway. I don't even know who James Spahn is. That's wicked funny. Spahn, did you notice that in my voice, right? Now, yes, the account about my house has taught me about cool stuff is, yeah. Anna is saying the most difficult and most important in decluttering for me is to set the emotional aside. Yeah, set it temporarily aside so you have space in your home to go through it, and you have space in your nervous system to go through it. And if you choose not to go through it and you just want to throw it in the trash, you can also do that. Yeah, releasing the pressure and judgment. Just get one part done. Such good stuff. Yay. Yay. Now this is cool too because Anne in the comments here with the little, it's got like looks like tools and it's, she says she has an account here about her old house and the stuff she's finding on it. About my house is taught and reminded me about how cool some of the stuff is, but really only some. Yeah. And what you're doing is, and if anybody here, I mean, my grandmother, my grandparents had a farm, a personal farm, but separating the wheat from the chaff. Now, did they actually ever grow wheat? No, but you know the thing. You know the concept. The good stuff and the not so good stuff. The clutter is the chaff. The clutter is the unusable stuff. It's not nutritious. It's not delicious. So notice that as you declutter, what you're doing is you're sorting through. You're looking for the good stuff that you may want to keep, and you're getting rid of the stuff that's easy. And, maybe it won't be so easy, but the more you do it, the more you build your decluttering muscle. The stronger you are, the easier things become. Will it all be easy? No. Even famous, sporty people who are wicked strong muscle-wise still sweat, still kind of struggle through some tough stuff. But it's a hell of a lot easier to do it when you have the muscles behind you. And the two muscles that you will use before your hands and things lifting your stuff are going to be your thinker muscle and your feeler muscle, okay? Your head and your heart. What do I think about this and how does it make me feel? And if I think something about it, if the words in my head make me feel crappy, how can I change? How can I flip the words in my head to the opposite? Because if these words make me feel crappy, let's play with this. The opposite of those words could make me feel better. We're going from crappy to better, okay? That's what we do. Yay. Carla is just breathing. Just breathe. Carla also sent me this microphone, which is wicked funny. I love it. Hey, I'm on the radio. I love it. Hey, little lady, we'll be back to pick you up later. Jingle bells. Everybody, Ronco, Mr. Microphone. I crap up. There we go. Spahn. We got bad weather coming this week. Yeah, we get bad weather here too. But you know what? Bad for us, maybe good for the birds, maybe good for the things that are growing, Mel Joy just decluttered most of my dresser last night, and I feel so happy, and the nightstand is less. I love it. Yeah, I'm on the radio. I love it. Now, you know what's crazy? You know what I don't love? Luckily, I don't have a hard stop right now, so we'll wind down this lovely hour we've spent together. Now, I know some of you just tuned in. The good news is that I will be doing a YouTube live in just a few hours. So if you just tuned in and you like what you hear, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Now, here's where I'm going to be a total sassy pants, because I know many of you who showed up are on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. If you're not on the mailing list, get on the mailing list. It's free, people. Come on. I mean, it's free. So you can't be like, oh, she's going to sell me something. I do paid coaching. Boom. That's what I sell. I'm not going to push it on you. Okay? What I offer is if you get on the mailing list, you get an automatic email to a link to a secret page. I'm looking at it right now, and I can see when I'm going to be on YouTube today. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, we have a declutter party. And then Sunday is my wedding anniversary, so I'm not working. Monday, we've got stuff going on Tuesday, and then we go on a trip. If you want that information, it's free. All you need to do is get on the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com. Okay? And for those of you who care to do that, to take that next step, if you enjoyed this, and you want to find out when I'm on TikTok, because I'll be on TikTok the next many days too, destinationdecluttered.com. It's there. It's available to you. You get to decide whether you want to take that next step. For those of you who have taken that next step and you know where the secret page is, access that, because it does change. It does change. So please get in the habit of going there. Bookmark it. Check that like the TV guide, like we used to do it, okay? But in the meantime, I will be doing a YouTube live today, a wicked lot of TikTok lives and YouTube lives this week, Saturday declutter party, Monday declutter party. So I'm here for you if you like what you're hearing. Also, when I'm on YouTube, oh my God, this week we're going to hit 700 videos available that you can just pop on in the background like a podcast and listen to, okay? But in the meantime, I got to go. I know you have stuff to do yourself, but before you go and sign off here, sign off and then take a moment and just get a pen and paper. Say, where am I headed today? How do I want something to look? How do I want it to function? And how do I want to feel today? Whatever comes up, write it down and then head in that direction. Okay? Alrighty, friends. I will see you on YouTube in a few hours if you choose to show up. And if not, you do you. You do what feels right. All right? I'll see you.